I'd like to share with you just a couple things that might help you determine whether an old car has been in an accident before. Whether you're looking at an old Mercedes or any other car, you want to find out if it's been in a wreck because it does affect the value. Of course, you may have some other problems that you don't see right away. Well, look at this 1981 Mercedes. It's a 300 SD. You look at the hood, you look at the front end here. You notice I've removed the headlight. Disregard that. But you look at the paint looks really nice, and you think, man, this is a nice car. But I want to show you up close a couple things that right away when I saw this, I knew this car had been in a front-end accident. Look at this right here, pinstriping. I don't like pinstriping, but when I see pinstriping on a car, it could be an indication the car has been repainted. That's usually the case. I mean, a car can be pinstriped with original paint, but more often than not, when you see pinstriping like this put on by some body shop, the car has probably been repainted. So that caught my eye right away. Okay, car's been repainted. Let's take a closer look. And with Mercedes, the gaps are always very consistent. And if you look right here, you can see the gap widens out right there and then starts to dive in here. And if you noticed that the fender, the point on the fender is a little bit higher than the hood. Now that can be adjusted up, but when that adjusts up, see, then this isn't on the same plane. So by looking at the hood gaps, this is one I always look at. You can tell almost immediately whether the front end of the car has been whacked or not. Now I'm going to take you over now and show you a car with original paint that has not been in a front end accident so you can see the comparison. Now check out this fender to hood gap on this other 300 SD. Look at the width of that gap and how consistent it is all the way from the windshield down here to the headlight. But this area right in here is usually the giveaway if the car has had a what I call a light front end accident where it's, you know, dented the hood, probably got the headlight assembly and so on, and maybe they decided to repair it or replace it with an aftermarket fender because aftermarket fenders will not gap out and fit as evenly as the factory hood and fenders will. So when you're out there hunting, keep a close eye on these gaps. That's the same with the trunk. Look at the trunk gap lines. That'll give you an indication whether the rear end's been hit, and even the doors, you know, whether the thing's been T-boned. Now there's another little tip. Now I know there's lots of different ways to determine whether a car's been in an accident, but I want to show you this other tip that you may not have thought of. Look for any obvious evidence of replacement parts at the front end, the hood, the fender, and so on. Now, do you notice anything suspicious about this auxiliary fan here? Take a look right there. That's a parts tag. You don't see that on the original parts, but replacement parts, usually the installer won't remove those tags, so you'll see a part number tag on the part giving you an indication it's been replaced. Now, just because the fan's been replaced doesn't necessarily mean it's been an accident. Now, let me show you something else that's been replaced that does. Take a close look at this left side hood hinge. You know, I spotted this right away when I opened the hood. Look at that parts tag right there. That's a parts tag from a genuine Mercedes replacement part, and you don't see these tags on the cars when they come from the factory. Now, when a hood hinge has been replaced, it's either gotten rusty or it's been broken, but generally they're replaced if the hood has been hit and hit hard. These will get all tweaked out of shape, and you just have to get replacement hood hinges. So the combination of what I've seen with the fender to hood fit and the replacement aux fan and this all leads me to believe that this car has been in a front end accident. Of course, there's other ways to tell, but let's say you're out on the road, you don't have time to do a Carfax, you don't have time to do a pre-purchase inspection. The things I've shown you in this video are just a couple tips you can use to determine quite quickly whether or not the car's ever been hit.